There's something quietly terrifying that happens as we age, and most of us don't talk about it until it's already underway. You begin losing detail. The sharpness fades. You squint more, reading labels, watching TV, recognizing faces across a room, all start to feel a little more frustrating. And it's not just inconvenience, it's independence. Retinal degeneration is the leading cause of vision loss in older adults. But here's what most people don't realize. Much of that damage is preventable, and some of it is even reversible, if you know what to feed your eyes. Here's the thing. Your eyes are not separate from the rest of your body. The retina, that light-sensitive layer at the back of your eye, is literally brain tissue. It's part of your central nervous system, which means the health of your retina is deeply connected to the health of your brain, blood vessels, mitochondria, and your inflammatory pathways. Now, the surprising twist, there are 3 specific seeds that contain compounds so powerful they've been shown to support retinal structure, reduce oxidative stress in the eyes, and slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness after 70. These aren't exotic superfoods or pricey supplements. They're simple, accessible, and when used the right way, incredibly effective. We're talking about seeds that activate antioxidant pathways in the retina. Seeds that stabilize omega-3 set critical for photoreceptor function. Seeds that influence how your body responds to light, oxidative stress, and even glucose spikes, all of which impact vision more than most people think. What's happening here is a fusion of nutrition, neuroscience, and behavior. Because protecting your vision isn't just about what you eat. It's also about how your brain and eyes interact with inflammation, light, circadian rhythms, and blood sugar, all of which can be modulated with specific nutrients. In this talk, we'll break down the 6 science-backed strategies to help you protect and preserve your vision after 70, and they all connect to these 3 potent seeds. You'll learn the key omega fatty acid that fuels your retinal cells and which seed provides the highest dose. A flavonoid-rich seed that directly targets macular health and blood flow to the eye. The link between glycation, vision loss, and one often overlooked seed that combats it. How to use seeds to regulate circadian health, and why your retina depends on it. What Harvard and Tufts researchers found about seeds, carotenoids, and eye pressure, and how to turn this into a simple daily habit you can actually stick with. No tracking, no supplements. This isn't a trendy diet or a short-term fix. This is about building biological resilience in one of the most overlooked, undernourished parts of the human body, your visual cortex and its partner, the retina. Ready to learn how to feed your eyes? Let's start with the first principle and the seed that's been called Nature Sep's retinal shield. Your retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in your entire body. It processes light, transmits signals to your brain, and handles intense oxidative stress, all in a space thinner than a credit card. And to keep doing that job, it relies heavily on a very specific omega-3 fatty acid, DHA, or docosahexaenoic acid. Now, here's the problem. Most people over 70 aren't getting enough DHA. Fish consumption drops with age, digestion becomes less efficient, and the enzymes that convert plant-based omega-3s into DHA slow down. But the science is clear. Retinal cells need DHA to maintain their structure and function. Without it, photoreceptors become fragile, night vision fades, and the risk of age-related macular degeneration goes up significantly. Enter flax seeds. Flax seeds are the richest plant source of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a precursor to DHA. While the conversion rate of ALA to DHA in the body is low, sometimes under 10%, it's still meaningful, especially if you're not eating much oily fish. But here's where it gets interesting. The efficiency of that conversion is highly influenced by your overall nutrient status and what else you eat it with. For example, research published in Prostaglandins, leukotrienes, and essential fatty acids shows that people with higher intake of zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6 convert ALA more efficiently into DHA. That means pairing flax seeds with leafy greens, legumes, or a B-complex vitamin can significantly enhance their impact on your eyes. But the benefit of flax seeds doesn't stop with omega-3s. They're also rich in lignans, plant compounds with antioxidant properties that help neutralize free radicals in the retina. Free radicals are a big deal when it comes to eye health. Your retina is constantly exposed to light and oxygen, which makes it especially vulnerable to oxidative stress. Over time, this stress weakens the retina's outer layers and leads to cell loss. Flax lignans help buffer that process. What's happening in your brain when DHA levels are low is also worth understanding. DHA is crucial for synaptic function, the ability of neurons to communicate. Since the retina is technically brain tissue, DHA deficits impair signal transmission from your eyes to your visual cortex. That's why low omega-3 status doesn't just affect your sight, it affects your visual processing speed. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that older adults with higher omega-3 intake not only maintain better eyesight, but also show faster visual reaction times and better contrast sensitivity. So what's the best way to use flaxseed? A simple tool to apply is this. Take 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flaxseed in the morning, ideally with a breakfast that includes either a leafy green like spinach, a nut or seed like walnuts, or a B vitamin-rich food like eggs. Grinding the seeds is key. Whole flax seeds often pass through the digestive tract intact. You can add them to oatmeal, a smoothie, or even mix them into yogurt. One caveat: avoid heating flaxseed oil at high temperatures. Heat destroys the fragile omega-3 fats. Stick to raw, ground seeds, or cold-pressed oil used in dressings. And if you want to supercharge the DHA effect, consider pairing flax with algae oil, the only plant-based source of preformed DHA. That combo, flax for the precursor, algae oil for the direct hit, gives your retina both the building blocks and the finished product. Have you ever noticed how your vision seems a little sharper after eating a nutrient-dense meal? That's not your imagination. Your retina is deeply sensitive to your nutritional environment, and flaxseed offers a simple daily way to support it from the inside out. Now we'll explore something most people never connect to vision: blood flow, and the surprising way grape seeds can protect your eyes by feeding your capillaries. Let's talk about circulation, not the kind you feel in your legs or hands, but the microscopic kind flowing through the dense capillary networks inside your eyes. Your retina, particularly the macula, is fed by a complex web of tiny blood vessels. These capillaries are responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to some of the most energy-hungry cells in your entire body. And here's the issue: as we age, these vessels become more fragile, more inflamed, and more prone to micro-damage. The result? Reduced blood flow, low-grade retinal hypoxia, and ultimately degeneration of the cells responsible for sharp central vision. This is where grape seeds come in. Grape seeds, yes, the same tiny seeds inside red or purple grapes, contain a powerful class of compounds called Proanthocyanidins. These are polyphenols with high antioxidant capacity, and they've been shown in multiple studies to strengthen blood vessel walls, reduce capillary permeability, and improve microcirculation throughout the body, including in the eyes. A 2019 study in Nutrients looked at the effect of grapeseed extract (GAC) on ocular blood flow and oxidative markers in older adults. After just 8 weeks, participants showed significantly improved retinal vessel function and reduced markers of oxidative stress. The authors noted that proanthocyanidins appeared to preserve endothelial function, that is, the health of the cells lining blood vessels, which is a key defense against age-related vision loss. Why does this matter for vision? Because poor blood flow to the retina doesn't just starve the tissue. It also slows the removal of metabolic waste. Over time, this buildup contributes to drusen formation, those yellow deposits linked to macular degeneration, retinal thinning, and even increased intraocular pressure. Grapeseed extract doesn't just prevent this, it helps reverse some of the damage. Animal studies published in the Journal of Ocular Pharmacology and Therapeutics found that GSE supplementation reduced retinal cell death in models of oxidative injury and even promoted regeneration in damaged photoreceptors. Here are steps. What steps happening physiologically? Proanthocyanidins scavenge reactive oxygen species in the eye, a major source of retinal damage. But they also support nitric oxide availability, which relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. In effect, they give your eyes a better supply chain, more oxygen, more nutrients, less waste, and stronger vessel integrity. Have you ever experienced blurry vision after staring at a screen for too long, or noticed how your eyes feel tired in dim light? Part of that is due to reduced blood flow and oxidative buildup. Grapeseed compounds help buffer that fatigue at the vascular level, not just symptomatically but structurally. So how do you use them? There are two options. First, you can eat whole red or purple grapes with seeds intact if your digestion allows. Chewing the seeds releases the polyphenols, but keep in mind they're bitter and hard to break down. Second, and more practical for most people, is to use a standardized grapeseed extract supplement, ideally one that provides 100 to 200 milligrams of OPCs, oligomeric proanthocyanidins, per day. If you prefer food-based solutions, you can also combine grapes with other flavonoid-rich foods like blueberries or dark chocolate to create a synergistic antioxidant effect. But the key is consistency. These compounds build up their protective effects over weeks, not hours. Now, if this insight is helping you and you're enjoying this deep dive into science you can actually use, consider subscribing to the channel. There's more coming on brain health, vision, and the simple tools that actually make a difference. Now we'll tackle an often overlooked but massive issue behind vision decline, inflammation and glycation, and how chia seeds help regulate the fire, protecting not just your eyes, but your entire vascular system. Let's zoom out for a moment. Why does vision deteriorate so sharply after 70? Yes, there's normal wear and tear, but there's also a silent compounding process that eats away at your eyesight over decades, and it has two names: inflammation and glycation. Inflammation you're probably familiar with. Chronic, low-grade inflammation damages blood vessels, nerves, and photoreceptor cells in the retina. But glycation? That's when sugar molecules bind to proteins or fats in your body and create harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs stiffen tissues, increase oxidative stress, and accelerate aging in virtually every organ, including your eyes. In fact, elevated AG levels have been directly linked to age-related macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and even cataracts. They're especially aggressive in the retina because of its high metabolic rate and constant exposure to oxygen and light, a perfect storm for oxidative stress. So how do we reduce this? Chia seeds. These tiny seeds pack a multi-pronged defense system, combining soluble fiber, polyphenols, and plant-based omega-3s in a single food. And what makes them stand out is how they regulate post-meal blood sugar and suppress inflammatory cytokines, the molecules that signal your immune system to stay in a constant low-grade fight mode. Here sits what the research shows. A 2020 study in Nutrients found that daily chia seed consumption significantly reduced hsCRP, a marker of systemic inflammation, in older adults over just 12 weeks. Another study in diabetes care demonstrated that chia seeds lowered postprandial blood glucose and insulin spikes, key drivers of glycation. What's happening in your body when you eat chia seeds is this: the soluble fiber in chia forms a gel-like substance in the gut, which slows the absorption of glucose into your bloodstream. This means fewer blood sugar spikes, less insulin demand, and lower formation of AGEs. At the same time, chia's polyphenols and omega-3s reduce TNF-alpha and interleukin-6, two inflammatory signals known to damage retinal tissue and contribute to macular degeneration. Have you ever noticed how tired or blurry your vision feels after a carb-heavy meal? That's often a short-term blood sugar surge impairing microcirculation to your eyes. Chia seeds, used consistently, help flatten those spikes and reduce the downstream stress on your retinal tissue. There's also a bonus. Chia seeds are a rich source of lutein and zeaxanthin precursors, carotenoids that concentrate in the macula and protect it from UV damage. These compounds act like internal sunglasses, filtering high-energy blue light and shielding the sensitive cells responsible for central vision. Now, how do you use chia in a way that actually supports your eyes? Here sits a practical tool. Mix 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with water. Let it sit for 15 to 30 minutes until it forms a gel, and consume it as a mid-morning or afternoon snack, especially after meals that include carbohydrates. You can also add chia to smoothies, overnight oats, or even make chia pudding with unsweetened almond milk and cinnamon. Timing matters. Taking chia after or with your highest carb meal of the day can buffer the glucose spike and reduce the glycation load on your eyes and blood vessels. And if you're consistent, you'll be stacking anti-inflammatory and antioxidant protection every single day. You don't need a supplement or a prescription to lower inflammation in your eyes. You just need a simple habit, and chia is one of the most powerful low-cost tools you can reach for. Now we'll shift to something most people completely overlook: your eye's internal clock, and why regulating your retina's circadian rhythm could be the next breakthrough in long-term vision preservation. Your eyes don't just see light, they sense time. Inside your retina are specialized cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, IPRGCs. These aren't involved in forming images. Their job is to tell your brain what time it is based on the light hitting your eyes. These cells send signals to your suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock, which governs everything from sleep to hormone release to cellular repair. But here's the catch. This system starts to break down with age. After 70, your body becomes less sensitive to light cues, melatonin production slows, and your circadian rhythm drifts, often leading to sleep disturbances, low energy, and yes, faster eye aging. Why? Because your retina and circadian system are connected in a loop. Poor circadian health increases retinal oxidative stress, reduces photoreceptor renewal, and impairs visual performance, especially in low light conditions. Now here's where seeds come back into the picture. Certain seeds contain melatonin precursors, tryptophan, magnesium, and polyphenols that influence your circadian biology, not just through the brain, but through the retina itself. Let's focus on pumpkin seeds for a moment. Even though they aren't one of the core three, they're worth mentioning here. Pumpkin seeds are rich in tryptophan, the amino acid your body uses to make serotonin and eventually melatonin. Combine that with magnesium, also found in chia and flax, and you have a biochemical foundation for better melatonin signaling. But the real shift happens with timing. A 2016 study in Chronobiology International found that consuming a small tryptophan-rich evening snack improved sleep efficiency and supported better overnight melatonin levels in older adults. And since melatonin also acts as a retinal antioxidant, boosting its levels in the evening has a dual benefit. It strengthens your sleep cycle and protects your eyes from nighttime oxidative stress. Now let's zoom in on chia and flax, our main players. These seeds not only provide omega-3 zeaxanthin fiber, they also contain lignans and polyphenols that modulate gut bacteria, which in turn influence your circadian clock. Yes, your gut microbiome follows a circadian rhythm too. And when it's in sync, your whole system, including your retina, functions better. What's happening under the surface is a rhythm of repair. Your retina renews itself mostly at night. Damaged photoreceptor cells are cleared out. Mitochondria recalibrate. But if your circadian rhythm is off or your melatonin levels are too low, this overnight maintenance doesn't happen properly. Over time, the result is cumulative retinal stress and a greater risk of degeneration. Have you ever noticed how your eyes feel burnt out after a night of poor sleep or late-night screen use? That's not just fatigue, it's circadian dysregulation affecting your retina's recovery cycle. Here are tips: a practical, science-backed tool you can use. Add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed or 2 tablespoons of chia gel to an evening snack that includes a source of tryptophan, like a handful of pumpkin seeds, a slice of turkey, or unsweetened almond milk. Keep it low in sugar. The goal is to support melatonin production, not spike insulin. Even more powerful, step outside within 30 minutes of waking up. Expose your eyes to natural light for at least 5 to 10 minutes. This anchors your circadian rhythm for the day and amplifies the effects of evening tryptophan intake. So yes, what and when you eat affects your vision. By supporting your internal clock and your retina's rhythm, you're not just seeing better today, you're giving your eyes the conditions they need to recover and thrive overnight. Now we'll dive into what researchers at Harvard and Tufts have uncovered about carotenoids, seed oils, and the macula, and how to boost your natural sunglasses from the inside out. There's a reason ophthalmologists keep talking about lutein and zeaxanthin. These two carotenoids are like nature's sunglasses for your eyes. They concentrate in the macula, the central part of your retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision. Their job? To absorb high-energy blue light, neutralize free radicals, and protect photoreceptor cells from oxidative damage. Think of them as an internal filter, one that shields your retina from the very light it needs to see. Now here's the problem. Your body can't make lutein or zeaxanthin. You have to get them from food. And even if you eat plenty of spinach or kale, which are rich sources, your ability to absorb these carotenoids declines with age. That's where seed oils come in. Let's start with the research. A joint study by Harvard School of Public Health and Tufts University examined how dietary fats influence the absorption and bioavailability of lutein and zeaxanthin in older adults. Their finding? Adding healthy fats, specifically omega-rich plant oils, significantly improved carotenoid uptake and transport into retinal tissue. Why? Because carotenoids are fat-soluble. Without dietary fat, your body struggles to absorb them. The Harvard Tufts study noted that participants who consumed leafy greens along with ALA-rich oils like flaxseed oil showed up to 5 times greater macular pigment density compared to those who ate greens alone. In practical terms, this means that seeds don't just provide vision-supportive compounds. They enable your body to unlock the full power of other eye-protective nutrients. So what's happening inside your body? When you eat lutein or zeaxanthin, your digestive system needs to emulsify and package those molecules into micelles, tiny droplets that can be absorbed in the intestine. This process is driven by the presence of healthy fats. Once absorbed, the carotenoids hitch a ride on lipoproteins in your bloodstream and eventually get delivered to the macula. Without enough fat or the right type, much of that potential protection gets flushed away. Here sits where flaxseed and chia shine again. Both are rich in ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that not only supports retinal structure as we discussed earlier, but also acts as a delivery system for carotenoids. In fact, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published data showing that people with higher ALA intake had significantly higher macular pigment optical density, an objective marker of retinal health. What's more, some emerging research suggests that certain polyphenols in grapeseed extract can stabilize lutein in the bloodstream, preventing its degradation and allowing more to reach the eye. This creates a synergistic effect. Seeds don't just offer isolated benefits, they amplify one another. Here's a simple protocol to implement. With 1 meal per day, ideally lunch or dinner, combine a lutein-rich vegetable like spinach, kale, or broccoli with a teaspoon of flaxseed oil or a tablespoon of ground flax or chia. Add a small portion of healthy fat like avocado or a few olives to round it out. If you're using grapeseed extract, take it with the same meal. This enhances absorption and blood transport of carotenoids and provides a polyphenol buffer to protect those compounds as they circulate. Have you ever wondered why 2 people can eat the same salad but see different benefits? Absorption is the key. And what the research shows is that the right fats, especially from seeds, are the unlock mechanism your body needs. If your goal is not just to eat healthy, but to actually absorb and use the nutrients that protect your vision, then building seed-based fats into your meals is a quiet but powerful strategy. Now we'll bring everything together with a simple, science-based routine, a protocol anyone over 70 can follow to turn these seeds into a daily habit for long-term eye health. You've now seen how flaxseed supports DHA production, how grape seeds improve microcirculation, how chia helps regulate inflammation and glycation, and how seed fats enhance the absorption of vital carotenoids. But let's be honest, knowledge doesn't change your health. Consistent action does. So let's turn this into a habit, a protocol, something you can actually use every day without needing to count grams, track apps, or take 5 different supplements. The goal here is simple: to create a sustainable, enjoyable daily routine that delivers neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant support to your retina and visual cortex, using just 3 natural seeds. Here steps the protocol. Morning start of day, 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed, mix into a smoothie, sprinkle over oatmeal, or stir into yogurt. Add to a breakfast that includes magnesium-rich foods like nuts, leafy greens, or eggs to support ALA to DHA conversion. This helps anchor omega-3 availability and antioxidant protection early in the day, when light exposure starts activating your retina. Midday or with your largest meal, grape seed extract, 100 to 200 milligrams OPCs. If using a supplement, take it with lunch, ideally alongside a lutein-rich vegetable like spinach or kale, and a healthy fat source, for example, olive oil, avocado, or flaxseed oil. If using whole grapes with seeds, chew the seeds thoroughly and pair with other flavonoid-rich foods like blueberries. This supports blood flow, stabilizes carotenoids, and delivers polyphenol-based protection to your capillaries and retinal cells. Evening 1 to 2 hours before bed, 2 tablespoons chia gel. Stir chia seeds into almond milk, let it gel, and consume as an evening snack with a tryptophan source like pumpkin seeds or turkey. Supports melatonin production, circadian rhythm alignment, and overnight retinal repair. Bonus helps blunt late-night blood sugar spikes that increase glycation stress on the retina. Optional weekly booster. Once or twice a week, rotate in pumpkin seeds or a DHA algae oil supplement to further support nighttime recovery and preformed DHA levels, especially if you eat little or no fish. What's happening in your body when you follow this rhythm? In the morning, you're giving your retina the fats it needs to maintain its structure. Midday, you're improving nutrient absorption and blood supply to the macula. At night, you're calming inflammation and supporting the eye's internal repair clock, a rhythm that becomes less reliable with age, but can be re-anchored through nutrition and timing. Now, none of this works if it's sustainable. So here are 2 behavioral tips to lock it in. Link each seed to a pre-existing habit. Flax goes with your coffee or tea routine. Grapeseed extract tags along with your multivitamin or lunch plate. Chia becomes your go-to evening snack instead of something sugary or processed. Batch prep your seeds once a week. Pre-grind your flax and store it in an airtight container in the fridge. Make a few jars of chia gel in advance. They last 5-6 days refrigerated. Keep grape seed capsules or seed-containing grapes visible and ready. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet. You just need to feed your eyes with intention. And these 3 seeds, used consistently, timed wisely, can serve as a daily defense system for your vision, your brain, and your independence. In the final section, we'll tie everything together with a recap, a deeper why behind this protocol, and a challenge to take one small action today to start protecting your eyes, not later, not someday, but now. Here's the thing. Most people don't lose their vision overnight. It fades slowly. First it's small print, then it's low light, then it's driving at night, and eventually it's giving up things you once loved, like reading, traveling, or even recognizing familiar faces. But it doesn't instead have to go that way. Because science has made one thing clear. Your eyes are not doomed to decay. Your retina isn't just passively aging. It's actively responding to what you feed it. And the seeds you eat today shape the clarity you'll see with tomorrow. Let's recap what we've learned. Flax seeds help build your own DHA, feeding the brain and retina from the inside out. Grape seeds protect the fragile blood vessels that keep your macula alive and nourished. Chia seeds calm inflammation, regulate blood sugar, and support retinal regeneration at night. Seed fats improve absorption of lutein and zeaxanthin, the pigments that literally block damage from sunlight and blue light. And by combining these seeds into a simple daily rhythm, morning, midday, and evening, you give your eyes what they need when they need it. This isn't a magic fix. It's not a miracle cure. It's a habit, a biological investment. And the payoff is big. Better eye health isn't just about seeing clearly. It's about moving confidently, reading without strain, driving without fear, recognizing the people you love, even in dim light, staying independent for years longer. If you're over 70, this is the time to lean in, not give up. So here sits your challenge. Pick just one of these seeds today. Add it to a meal. Feel the difference. Then keep going. Because the more you repeat it, the more it rewires your biology. Feed your eyes like you plan to keep using them for a long, long time.